Hey guys, welcome to another Let's Build. I know it's been a minute since I did my very last one. This one's going to be more or less a new take on stuff you can do with Rails inside an app, and the focal point will be messaging users within the app itself. So kind of think of it like a Gmail interface, but within the app. So you can always seek through people and message them based on whatever they're viewing or whatever they're making at this point. The whole kind of concept behind the app is just for trading stuff. I'm a musician, so it's kind of always something that's been on my radar, maybe of creating some sort of resource where people can just trade as opposed to buy things, but haven't gone through the whole process of creating something like that. But this is kind of just a very, very dumbed down version of that. But essentially you can post a trade or an item up for trade. It's got all the essential features like images, content, who posted it, when it was posted. We're using active storage on this post type too, so we'll hook into Rails 5.2 to make all that happen. And basically we're just gonna scaffold this out and then focus on the conversation side of things. So since I authored this actual post, you'll notice I have actions to edit it and go back and all these things up here. It's kind of like an admin role for the person who created the post. And if you did not do that, you'd see something like this where it's the author and you can message that user depending on if you have before. The neat thing about this is there's only one idea of a conversation. So the conversation keeps going depending on if you've actually spoken to that user before. So you might have history with that user and it just shows up based on that. So this is stuff that I submitted before, and when you basically go and see that they posted something else, you'll see the same history as before, which is kind of nice because it's more or less how you leave messaging these days, like Facebook Messenger or something like that. There's just a constant stream of your history. And while it's kind of scary that your history is out there, but it's also useful in case you need to look back and not have to cycle through so many different new messages. So it's kind of like email, but also more or less like just an actual instant messaging app. We don't have any bells and whistles going on like Action Cable or anything like where this could be completely like automatic and streaming chat, where if I had another browser open, you'd see it pop up in real time. I've been looking into Action Cable. It's quite complicated to get going with. It's not unheard of to get going with, but it's a matter of just me understanding it more. And I think that's where I'm failing with it. A lot of the Ajax side of it was giving me trouble when I was trying to create a series like this prior to this. So I went this route instead, just to give more context of how Rails works and just kind of some more edge case uses where you might need to do something different than what is just under the hood. So the messaging model itself is kind of a weird one. So we have to actually have foreign keys on a conversation model that is a parent of a message model. So we're going to get into some weird routing and weird model associations to make this all work. One thing that I would love to enhance is how conversations and messages relate to a specific trade only, as opposed to just open-ended. So if you were to go into the message, you see that conversations and messages are just on their own area of the app. That's nice because you can just basically consider it a open chat board for that user at any given moment. But it's nice to be able to associate maybe the trade in mind at each point. So that'd be an enhancement later on that I just seriously lost time in trying to do. So that's something that maybe you could enhance on your own. Here you see way too many images, which is kind of a bug that I was trying to update the image form to just populate with JavaScript. So on Rails developer guide, there's a neat little JavaScript indicator where you add new photos. They'll be here. You notice I don't have this button styled on purpose because it was kind of giving me trouble. I wanted to show context of what you can do with this. You see little indicators of those files being uploaded. A problem here, as you can see, is that it just appends to the actual post. So we'd need a way to delete each photo, which I didn't build into the app, but that's something you could think about doing as well. So why don't we get started? This is going to be using my kickoff repo. You can check that out on GitHub. I'll link to it. Essentially, it's just a template that we draft up a new app from. It includes Bulma, a lot of other bells and whistles. And in this series, we'll be using a few new gems that will help kind of get things rolling in terms of making this content nice. One thing I forgot to mention is in the messaging, we're using Markdown in the actual field. So you can type actual Markdown and have it formatted like this right here. So there's an actual link and it's italic. All those things are kind of nice. So, and there's no way I was doing that at 5 a.m. I don't know why that time is off, but I think it's going by my system clock or something. So anyway, we will continue on the next video getting started. This is an intro to that, and I'll see you in it.